What's going on, Chemical Guys family? Thanks so much for tuning in for today's episode of Detail Garage. Now, a common thing that happens to a lot of us, I know it's happened to me a few times, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys, is when you're driving along, you hit all kinds of things on the road, and one of the most obnoxious things is when you hit wet road paint, or maybe a can of paint may have rolled around on the street, now it flung up on the side of your vehicle, and that's exactly what's happened to this black Lexus. As you can see, it's got this white or kind of grayish paint that's splattered from the surface of the road all over the side of the vehicle, and it continues all the way down to the back. And I wanted to show you guys just a really quick and easy way to remove it. Now, this has had plenty of time to actually sit on the surface and cure, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to remove, but it's a lot safer than having to polish the vehicle, or like some people will do is use a caustic thinner or some kind of paint remover, but it's actually really dangerous for your clear coat. So some people will willingly or unwillingly know that they're actually damaging their clear coat pretty badly by using a paint thinner or some kind of combination. So we're just going to remove any of the light dirt or any kind of road debris on the surface using some speed wipe, which is one of my favorite quick detail sprays, in a clean green workhorse microfiber towel. And as you see, I'm constantly flipping it to a new edge just so I'm not dragging the dirt along the surface, because I'm sure, as a lot of you know, black will show any kind of imperfections, any kind of swirls and scratches, so we don't want to induce any new ones. We just simply want to remove the paint splatter and everything else that could be causing staining on the surface. So to remove the splatter that's on the paint, you can also use it on glass or chrome or maybe any kind of glossy finish wheels. I'm going to use butter wet wax, and this just has natural cleaning oils that help to lift off the overspray or paint splatter, tar, anything that basically attracts to the actual clear coat of your vehicle. And as you saw, I shook it up, and I'm going to apply it to another green workhorse microfiber towel. What I like to do is I'll apply it to either a towel or an applicator pad. If you don't have an applicator, you can obviously use a towel. And then fold it into 4, and then just add a little dot. And what we're going to do is just spread it out. We'll start here on this corner and then work our way back, blotching it out just like you would do if you were polishing or even applying a coat of wax. You just want to let it sit there for a moment, and this is going to kind of help the cleaner start doing its job. And then we're going to start scrubbing using the same towel. You can use a back and forth motion or up and down, side to side. But you want to let the cleaner do all the work. You don't want to really scrub on it or put a heavy hand on it, because that can scratch, obviously, because you are still using a towel. The wax will add a little bit of lubrication, but you want to be gentle as possible so you're not inducing any kind of deep imperfections. So with a little bit of elbow grease, you guys can see that the paint starts to gently come off. And also, while you're doing this is also making the paint feel really slick. Now, a question that I've gotten before is, if this ever happens to your vehicle, what are the proper steps? So just as you saw, you want to clean the vehicle before you start doing any kind of scrubbing, because you don't want to obviously drag dirt in there, which could cause scratches, or it could, mar up the paint. But also, if need be, you can also clay the vehicle to get rid of some of the bulkier stuff, because a lot of the oil-based road paints, they're a bit thicker, and you've seen them where they're kind of actually bulging, or you can feel them on the surface. Luckily, this is from pretty light paint, and it comes off pretty easily. Just takes a little bit of elbow grease and some time and patience to remove it the right way. But as you see, you're probably wondering how to remove it off of your flarings or your plastic trim here. And you can use nonsense on these kind of surfaces, because this is a textured piece of plastic, which means it's still porous, but it's also going to be a little bit easier to get this off, a little more forgiving, because it's harder to scratch these kind of surfaces. So you can use something like nonsense or any other all-purpose cleaner, or maybe even something like Trim Clean, where it's designed specifically for your trim pieces. And you just, again, gently scrub it using either a brush or using the edge of a towel, and that'll remove any of this kind of stuff too. So I'm going to work my way around the rest of the vehicle wherever there's more of this paint splatter, but in the meantime, you guys can check out these products on our website, chemicalguys.com, or at your local detail garage. If you liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop your comments down below for future videos. We'll see you guys next time.